God said, prepare for the final plan. And in that moment, he was not calling you to strain or to struggle, but to awaken. He was not calling you to build with the hands of the flesh, but to rise in consciousness. The final plan is not out there, it is within. It is the divine blueprint you carry in the silence of your soul, waiting for you to believe it into being. All that you see now, the seeming delays, the chaos, the noise, is but shadow play. The truth lies beyond appearances. You must remember that the world reflects, it does not create. The world echoes the song you sing in the secret place. Prepare, not by packing bags or chasing signs, but by assuming the state of fulfillment. Feel now what you have been promised. Rest in the knowing that if God said it, it is already done. Your imagination is not idle. It is not fantasy. It is the holy place. It is the creative power of God in you. You were told to prepare because the harvest is coming, and you must be found in alignment with what you have asked for. The final plan is not a change of circumstance. It is a change of awareness. It is the shift from hoping to knowing, from waiting to becoming. You do not beg for what you already own. You do not knock where you have been given keys. If God said prepare, then it means you are already chosen. It means the door is already open. But can you walk through it in faith before you see it in form? Can you celebrate before the music plays? That is the kind of preparation He means. What you dare to believe now, what you dare to accept as real in the silence, becomes the structure of your tomorrow. So do not look to man. Do not measure by what the senses report. Measure only by what God whispered to your spirit. That is your map. That is your compass. Hold to it with sacred stubbornness. Every delay was training. Every closed door was redirection. Every silence was an answer dressed in mystery, and now the plan is set. All that remains is for you to rise in consciousness, to assume the identity of the one who has already received. Not later, not someday. Prepare, not as one who fears, but as one who knows. You are not trying to make it happen. You are preparing to receive what is already yours, because in the eternal now, it is finished. God said, prepare for the final plan. And this preparation is not one of haste or anxiety, but of sacred alignment. It is the quiet but powerful shift from man's timeline to divine timing. It is the yielding of the outer self to the inner authority. For what is the final plan but the full unveiling of what has always been planted within you? It is not coming to you. It is coming from you. You were never left out of the design. You were written into it before time wore its first hour. There is a memory in your soul that has not faded. There is a divine spark within you pulsing with instruction, and it has never gone dim. When God said prepare, He was not speaking to your hands or your calendar. He was speaking to your inner temple, the holy of holies within you, where truth is not debated, it is known. Many hear the word final and fear creeps in. But this is not an end, this is fulfillment. This is the moment the seed becomes the tree, the moment the dream steps into skin. What you have been walking toward, stumbling toward, praying toward is already completed in the invisible. You are simply being instructed to walk in agreement with it. You are not manifesting it as if it were far away. You are revealing it by stepping into its likeness. You have looked outside yourself for signs, for confirmations, for proof. But God did not plant the truth in the sky. He did not hide it in a book. He placed it in your own being and clothed you in the garment of your desires. He gave you imagination as the womb of your becoming. The world teaches you to wait and see, but the Spirit says, believe and become. Prepare your mind to receive what it has not yet seen. Prepare your heart to hold what eyes have not yet confirmed. This is not fantasy. This is faith. And faith is not hoping. It is knowing before showing. It is the invisible law by which all things visible are born. If you look around and see contradiction, do not bow to it. Do not shrink your vision to match your environment. Expand your environment to match your vision. Preparation in the Spirit looks like assumption. It looks like living from the end, walking as the one who has already received, thinking as the one who already is. When you rise in consciousness, everything below must follow. Your world cannot help but rearrange itself to match the frequency of your inner conviction. The outer must yield to the inner because the inner is first cause. This is the final plan: to awaken as who you truly are. To stop begging and start being, to stop knocking and start entering. You prepare not by proving your worth, but by accepting your inheritance. The kingdom is not earned, it is remembered. You came from it. You carry its signature. And now in this appointed moment, you are being called to rise as its evidence. All that is not aligned must fall away. Do not fear the falling. Do not mourn what leaves. Every shaking is mercy. Every removal is divine order. You are not losing anything. You are making room. You are clearing space for the greater that is pressing to be born through you. Obedience is not a punishment. It is positioning. And when you yield, you will realize it was always love leading you. Look not to circumstance. Circumstance is the echo, not the origin. What you see around you is yesterday's belief dressed in today's disguise. If you want to change what you see, you must first change what you know. Let no evidence contradict what God has spoken. Let no delay make you doubt the appointed hour. Time is not your master, it is your servant. And when your inner conviction is firm, time must obey. The final plan is not rushed. It unfolds with precision, with harmony, with inevitability, but it does not move on man's permission. It moves when you align. You do not need more signs. You do not need another word. You need only to believe that what was spoken is true. And belief is not passive. Belief is creative. Belief is formative. It builds the structure that the promise will inhabit. You are not here to watch life happen. You are here to declare it, to speak it into form, to walk it out as a living epistle. You are the proof of the unseen, the evidence of things hoped for, the vessel through which heaven touches earth. You do not need to strive for position when you understand you are the position. You are the place where the divine plan unfolds. So rise now. Not outwardly, but inwardly. Rise in thought, rise in self-concept, rise in the image you hold of yourself. Because God's plan does not fit the old you. It does not dwell in the garments of limitation. You must put on the new self, the true self, the one made in the image of what you've been promised. Do not call this delusion. This is the divine technology of faith. This is the original design. Speak now as though it is already done. Think now as though it is already manifested. Prepare your table in the presence of contradiction. Dress for the occasion you haven't yet seen. Because the one who prepares is the one who believes, and the one who believes becomes. God said prepare, and that word was not empty. It carries with it the full force of completion. He would not call you to prepare if there was nothing to receive. He would not wake you up if the hour were not near. And he does not speak to entertain. He speaks to ignite. You are being summoned into action, but not the action of effort, the action of alignment, the action of remembrance. Remember who you are. Remember what you carry. Remember what was shown to you in the secret place, the dream you saw when no one else was watching. That was not vanity. That was prophecy. That was instruction. And now it knocks again, asking if you're ready to live it. Not talk about it, not wish for it, be it. The final plan will not ask your permission to manifest. It only asks for your agreement. You are the gate. You are the bridge. If you shut the gate with doubt, fear, or delay, it cannot pass. But if you open it with faith, with conviction, with a yes that echoes through your being, nothing can stop it. No man, no rule, no resistance can close a door God has already opened in you. Do not ask how. How is the language of the old mind? How is the distraction of the logic bound? You are being called into the realm where how does not matter. In this place, assumption is the only currency. You assume the end, and the end assumes you. You wear the vision until the vision wears you. Let the world say you are foolish. Let them call you unrealistic. It is not their vision. It was not spoken to them. It was whispered into you. It was sealed into your bones, and you owe no one proof, only obedience. You will not argue your way into fulfillment. You will embody your way there, and when it arrives, it will not be a surprise. It will feel like recognition. It will feel like coming home. The call to prepare is the call to trust, to stand in the tension between seen and unseen, and not flinch, to anchor yourself in the Word even when the wind howls otherwise. This is not denial, it is dominion. It is not pretending, it is prophesying. You speak it as true because even before it becomes visible. So when the world says, show me, you say, watch me. When the old thoughts try to return, you remind them that you have moved. You no longer live in the house of waiting, you live in the house of becoming. You are not waiting on permission, you are walking in promise. This is the plan, that you awaken to what has already been given, that you realize you were never separate, never left behind, never forgotten. You were always part of the design, but designs must be activated. Patterns must be followed. Blueprints must be built upon. And you build not with hands, but with vision, with belief, with speech, with being. Speak the end, live the end, trust the end, because in God, the end is not after the beginning, it is the beginning. It is finished, it is done. All that remains is for you to align, to embody, to declare, to become. The final plan does not begin when circumstances are ready, it begins when you are. The final plan does not begin when everything looks perfect, when the winds are calm and the sky is clear. It begins in the middle of contradiction. It begins in the furnace. It begins when there is no evidence except the whisper you carry, no light except the flame within. That is where power is born. That is where the word becomes flesh. Not through ease, but through certainty. The one who knows does not wait for confirmation. They walk forward as if the answer were already in hand, because in the Spirit it is. When God said prepare, He spoke not to your doubt, but to your destiny. He spoke not to your fears, but to your fulfillment. That word was an activation, a code, unlocking what had long been dormant. And now the time has come. The hour is ripe. But will you rise to meet it? Will you become the one who is ready, not externally, but internally? To prepare is to surrender your old image. You cannot walk into the final plan wearing yesterday's garment. You cannot possess the promise while clinging to the identity of lack. Who you were in the waiting cannot be who you are in the receiving. You must shed the skin of your former self. You must speak differently, think differently, carry yourself with the posture of one who lacks nothing. The one who knows the promise is real does not negotiate with fear. They do not need reassurance from people who are never called to their vision. They do not explain themselves to doubters. They go forward in silence, in stillness, in divine confidence. They trust the vibration within more than the noise without. God did not choose you because of perfection. He chose you because you carry the exact pattern for what must now be birthed. There are assignments in this earth that can only be completed through you, not because you are more qualified in the eyes of the world, but because your soul was formed to carry them. And now the final plan is calling you to step into that blueprint, not just with words, but with being. Do not be discouraged by what has not yet appeared. Delay is not denial. Delay is preparation. Delay is alignment. And sometimes delay is grace, because the promise must be born through you, not just to you. You must be able to sustain it, carry it, reflect it, and that requires inner mastery. That requires the discipline of vision. That requires the ability to see beyond the veil and speak as though nothing is missing. You have asked, when will it happen? But that is not the question. The question is, am I in agreement with what has already happened in the Spirit? Because all that exists in time is a projection of what is already complete in eternity. You do not wait for it to be created. It already is. You are being trained to match the frequency of what God has already finished. To prepare is to become a match, not for what you want, but for what you are. And you are the answer. You are the fulfillment. You are the vessel God prepared for this hour. But you cannot carry the new if your hands are full of the old. You must lay down the belief in separation. You must lay down the doubt that says you are not ready, not worthy, not enough. Those thoughts are not truth. They are residue from a former dimension. They are echoes of a mind not yet renewed. This is the hour to rise. Not with noise, not with struggle, but with certainty, with stillness that moves mountains, with words that do not beg but decree. You have crossed the line of waiting. Now you enter into being. Now you step into the identity of the fulfilled. You no longer ask for the promise, you answer it. You no longer chase the vision, you embody it. Let the old thoughts come if they must. Let them knock, let them whisper, but do not let them stay. You are not required to entertain every idea that crosses your mind. You have the power to choose. And now, you must choose to believe only what aligns with the promise. You must choose to see only the end. You must choose to feel only what is true in God. And truth is not always what you see, it is what you know in your spirit. The plan was never uncertain. It was never fragile. What God speaks cannot be broken. What God ordains cannot be overturned. The only question now is whether you will walk as the version of you who agrees with it. You do not need to be perfect. You need only be present in faith. You need only to stay in the state of the promise, to dwell in it, to rehearse it, to feast upon it in your imagination until it becomes the only thing you see, even with your eyes closed. This is how you prepare, by becoming one with the end, by treating the invisible as real, by waking up each day and putting on the feeling of done. Not hoping, not doubting, just being, just knowing, just moving through life as if the thing has already occurred because it has. It is not arrogance, it is not delusion, it is agreement with God. It is oneness with the Word. It is understanding that creation is finished and that your role is not to make it happen, but to receive what is. And to receive, you must first believe. Not casually, not occasionally, but continually. Faith is not something you visit, it is a place you live. If others do not understand, bless them and continue. If circumstances do not change immediately, hold your ground. If thoughts arise to contradict the promise, silence them with your agreement to truth. You do not need to fight the darkness, you only need to turn on the light. The more you dwell in the promise, the more all that is not aligned must fall away. And yes, some things will fall, some people may leave, some places may no longer feel like home, but this is not loss, it is elevation. It is pruning for fruitfulness. It is the reordering of your environment to match your inner world. You cannot bring the new into a structure built for the old. You must let the foundation shift. You must allow the rearranging, the refinement, the sacred discontent that leads to divine realignment. There is nothing missing, nothing broken. You have everything required for this moment. The preparation is not about adding, but about uncovering. It is about stripping away what was never yours to begin with. The opinions, the fear, the limitation, they were never part of your divine makeup. They were illusions, and now they are being exposed so they can be removed. Let them go. Let them fall. Let the truth rise in their place. You are not the caterpillar wondering when it will fly. You are the butterfly awakening to its wings. You are not the dreamer waiting for permission. You are the dream made flesh. You are the evidence of God's thought expressed in form. And now, in this hour, you are being summoned to reflect that truth without apology. There is no turning back. There is no shrinking down. The time of waiting is over. The moment of manifestation is here. And you must prepare not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. Not as one who is trying, but as one who is. You must walk as the fulfillment before the fulfillment walks into view. Let your thoughts be pure. Let your words be precise. Let your inner atmosphere be so saturated with truth that nothing false can remain. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are the creator of it. You are not waiting for conditions, you are commanding them. And your command is not noise, it is vibration, it is identity. It is divine authority spoken in silence. God said, prepare for the final plan. That is not a suggestion, that is a divine instruction. And it was not given lightly, it was given because you are ready. Ready to shed what has expired, ready to wear the garment of the promise, ready to embody the frequency of fulfillment, ready to be the proof that the word never fails. You are not just preparing for a moment, you are preparing to become the moment, to be the sign others have waited for, to walk as the evidence that faith is not fantasy, but the very architecture of reality. And as you prepare, all things begin to move, the earth rearranges, the atmosphere shifts, doors open, resources appear, not because you chase them, but because you match them, because you became the version of yourself that they have always been assigned to. So continue. Silently, powerfully, certainly. Hold the vision until it holds you. Speak the word until it becomes your language. Think the truth until it becomes your nature. And know with every breath that the final plan is not coming. It has already begun in you. You are not waiting for the world to catch up with the promise. The world is waiting for you to realize it. It is waiting for your yes, not with your lips, but with your life. The plan has never been delayed. It has never been lost. It has only been waiting for your agreement, your embodiment, your decision to stop living as one who is becoming and to start living as one who already is. Because you are. You are not on the way, you are the way. You are not looking for the answer. You are the dwelling place of the answer. God said, prepare, and when that word came, it carried everything you would need. It held the wisdom, the provision, the timing, the strategy. It did not come to tease you. It did not come to test you. It came to remind you that the divine in you has not forgotten, that there is a current pulling you into alignment, a sacred momentum guiding you through what seems uncertain, but is already established in the invisible. This is not about striving. This is not about exhausting yourself trying to be more. This is about resting in the truth of who you already are. What is for you is not earned, it is claimed. And you claim it by dwelling in the state of already. You speak, think, act, and respond as though the thing were already done. Because in the unseen realm, it is. The world will try to tempt you back into waiting. It will whisper, not yet. You're not ready. Something is missing. But the world does not know what God planted in you. It cannot see the blueprint. It does not hear the voice. You are not here to conform to the noise. You are here to rise in quiet power. You are here to reveal what cannot be seen by natural eyes. You prepare not by fixing yourself, but by forgetting who you were told to be and remembering who you truly are, the one who was spoken over before birth, the one who walked with God in silence long before the crowd ever saw you. You are not defined by what has happened to you. You are not confined by the roles others assigned you. You are shaped by the divine word spoken over your life. And now it is time to agree with that word, not just in moments of inspiration, but in every breath. This preparation is sacred. It is a posture of heart. It is a setting of mind. It is a new way of seeing, not through the lens of limitation, but through the eyes of fulfillment. You are not preparing as a beggar, hoping for crumbs. You are preparing as royalty, returning to the throne. You are making space for glory to inhabit the shell of your daily life, and everything that no longer serves the vision must be released without fear. Release what you used to cling to. Release the need to prove. Release the timelines you created out of panic. Release the ideas of how it should happen. Those were never part of the final plan. Those were weights tied to your ankles. Let them fall. Let them sink. They cannot go where you are going. Your steps now must be deliberate. Your speech must be intentional. You are no longer trying to convince anyone of your path. You are walking it. You are no longer trying to explain the vision. You are living it. And in doing so, you become the message. You become the prophecy fulfilled. The final plan is not about escaping this world. It is about revealing heaven through it, through you. Everything you need is already within reach. because it is within you. The plan is not out there waiting to be found. It is unfolding in your awareness. Each time you say yes to the vision, each time you feel the end before it arrives, each time you refuse to bow to doubt, you step deeper into the reality of what God has spoken. You are shaping reality by the agreement of your spirit. You must treat your inner world as sacred ground. Guard it, nurture it, speak to it with care, because it is the soil of manifestation. You cannot plant the seed of truth and water it with fear. You cannot speak life one day and death the next and expect fruit. Let your inner atmosphere remain stable, even when the outer world is not. Let your mind be set not flexible to fear, not yielding to the noise, but fixed on what is unseen and eternal. When the winds blow, remember who you are. When nothing looks like the promise, remember who spoke it. You were not given this word by man. It did not originate in the opinions of others. It was given to you in the secret place. And it is being fulfilled not because of your striving, but because of your alignment. The final plan requires the real you, not the version you curated to be accepted, not the mask you wore to survive, but the pure, authentic self that God knew before time. That self carries the frequency of fulfillment. That self cannot be stopped. That self does not fear the unknown, because the unknown is not a threat. It is simply what has not yet been revealed. You were never meant to walk this out through logic alone. Reason has its place, but it cannot touch the realm of vision. The mind must follow the spirit, not the other way around. If you try to reason your way into the final plan, you will stay stuck in cycles. But when you feel your way in, when you enter through the doorway of faith, you step into a new dimension where time bends, doors open, and all things align. Prepare your thoughts, for they are the architects of your tomorrow. Prepare your words, for they build the house you will live in. Prepare your responses, for they declare what you truly believe. Every moment is a declaration. Every decision is agreement. And you must agree with destiny, not delay. You must agree with completion, not confusion. You must agree with the plan, not the pressure. Even now, as you listen, something within you stirs, not excitement alone, but remembrance, a deep knowing that you are not preparing for something new. You are returning to something eternal. The plan was never about doing more. It was about becoming more aware, more present, more aligned. And in that awareness, everything changes. So do not ask, when will it happen? The question has changed. Now you ask, how deeply can I dwell in the feeling of it already being done? And the deeper you dwell, the faster it comes. Not because God was withholding it, but because you were learning how to hold it. This plan will not look like what you expected. It will exceed your understanding. It will interrupt your logic. It will stretch your capacity, but it will also settle you in a way that nothing else ever has, because it is yours. Because it was written with your name etched into its very framework. You were not chosen randomly. You were chosen specifically. Because there is something about the way you believe, you see, you move, that makes heaven want to reveal itself through your life. You are not too late. You have not missed it. You are not behind. Every step has been accounted for. Every misstep has been redirected. Even your detours are being woven into the design. Even the seasons where you felt lost were part of the preparation. There is no wasted time in the hands of the eternal. And now everything is converging. Everything is turning. Everything is moving in accordance with what God said. Let your posture be stillness. Let your movement be intention. Let your energy align with the end, not the fear. You are not manifesting as a desperate seeker. You are revealing as a divine heir. The plan is not outside of you, waiting to appear. It is inside of you, waiting to be embodied. So hold fast, stand firm, speak boldly, feel deeply, and trust completely. Because the plan is already in motion. And the moment you say yes with your whole being, you will realize it was never waiting for you to be worthy. It was waiting for you to know you already are. The plan is not fragile. It is not something that can be disrupted by a missed opportunity or a wrong turn. It is not hanging in the balance, waiting for perfection. It is rooted in eternity, steady beneath the changing winds of your life. When God said, prepare for the final plan, He wasn't commanding a scramble. He was inviting stillness. He was saying, come into alignment with what is already yours. Come out of striving. Come into knowing. Every breath you take with awareness of the promise is preparation. Every thought you bring into obedience with truth is building the path beneath your feet. Every act of faith, no matter how quiet, sends a ripple into creation. You are not waiting for power. You are power. You are not waiting for confirmation. You are the confirmation. The fact that you heard the instruction is proof that it is time. God does not speak prematurely. The word always arrives pregnant with fulfillment. So now you must train your awareness. You must become the steward of your own state of being. You must decide moment by moment that you are not moved by what you see, but by what you know. The things around you may scream no, but your spirit whispers yes. And that whisper is stronger than all the noise of the world. Your preparation is in how you respond to the unseen more than the seen. It's in how you protect the truth inside you when the facts around you contradict it. You will be tempted to adjust your belief to match your surroundings, but this is where you rise. This is where you hold to the vision so fiercely that it begins to shape your world rather than your world shaping you. You are not a reporter of life's conditions. You are a creator of them. Your agreement with God is your most powerful tool. It is not passive consent. It is the force of creation itself. To agree with the word is to build the unseen into form. You prepare by seeing it done, not as a wish, but as a state. You live in the fulfillment. You rest there. You breathe from it. You move with the confidence of one who has already arrived. That is not arrogance. It is alignment. You are not trying to convince yourself. You are remembering what is already true. The more deeply you remember, the more clearly it begins to manifest around you. Let this become your way of life, to enter the day as one who has already received, to meet each moment with the quiet joy of knowing that all is unfolding in divine rhythm. You don't beg the sun to rise, it rises. You don't plead for air to fill your lungs, it flows. So why then would the plan for your life be any different? The same order that governs the universe governs your promise. The same divine intelligence that created the stars has orchestrated your steps. There is no guesswork in the mind of God. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the how. That is not your part. Your part is agreement. Your part is to enter the state, to live from the fulfillment so completely that delay becomes irrelevant and manifestation becomes inevitable. You do not bring things to pass by force. You draw them forth by frequency. And the highest frequency is gratitude for what already is. So be grateful now, not for what's coming, but for what is. Even if your eyes can't see it, your spirit can. And when you give thanks for what your spirit sees, you become an open vessel through which heaven flows into earth. Your life becomes a landing strip for miracles, not because you chase them, but because you became one with the reality where they already exist. This is not new teaching. This is ancient truth. This is the way the kingdom operates. The seed is not sown and then doubted. It is sown and then expected. It is watered with praise, guarded with silence, protected from weeds of fear. And in time, in divine time, it breaks the soil and reveals what has always been hidden. But you must prepare as if the seed has already sprouted. You must act as if the harvest is certain. Doubt may try to enter, but you are not obligated to accept it. Fear may knock, but you are not required to open the door. Every time you say no to fear and yes to faith, you are building. Every time you say yes to the word and no to the world, you are preparing. This is a daily discipline, a sacred rhythm. And you will not always feel it. But the preparation is not about feelings, it's about state. It's about holding the inner posture that says, I know, I trust, I receive. You are not preparing for something outside of you to finally happen. You are preparing to remember that it has already happened in spirit. That the moment you received the word, it began. That every day since has been part of the unfolding. Even the days that felt dry, empty, chaotic, those were still days of preparation. Still part of the process, because your life is not random. Your steps are not aimless. You are being led by a wisdom that sees the whole picture, not just the part you're in now. So yield. Yield to the knowing, yield to the grace, yield to the truth that does not waver with the weather of circumstance. Let every part of you become a reflection of the reality you believe in. Let your voice echo the end. Let your actions embody the finished work. You are not waiting for the word to become true. It is true. You are only aligning with its reality. Speak now as one who holds the answer. Speak now as one who carries divine authority. Speak not from need, but from knowing. You are not reaching for what's missing. You are revealing what's been hidden. And the more you speak from the end, the faster it takes shape. You are preparing a space, not just with your hands, but with your imagination, with your conviction, with your trust. And trust is not the absence of questions. Trust is the decision to stay rooted even when you don't have all the answers. It is the quiet certainty that says, even in silence, he speaks. Even in stillness, he moves. You don't need to feel the plan every moment to know it's working. You only need to return to the state of fulfillment, the state of rest, the state of inner agreement. When people ask, what are you doing? You don't need to explain. You are preparing, you are aligning, you are becoming, and soon what was unseen will be undeniable, not because you chased it, but because you believed it. Because you dared to live from the end when others only waited for beginnings. You are not going to miss what was meant for you, but you must become the version of yourself who can hold it. That's what this preparation is for. It is not punishment. It is promotion. It is refinement. It is the sacred space between the promise and the presentation. And how you handle this space will determine how long you stay in it. So handle it with reverence, with joy, with expectancy. Let your daily life reflect the weight of the word. Let your decisions reflect the confidence of one who already possesses, because in the Spirit you do. In the Spirit it is finished, and you are simply walking into what was already settled long before you asked. There is nothing random about the timing, nothing off about the season. All things are converging now. The time has come to step into alignment fully, completely, without hesitation. Let no voice talk you out of what God has already spoken into you. Let no delay deceive you into thinking the plan has changed. The plan is perfect, the plan is working, and the plan is calling you higher. Now you must answer not with noise, but with being, with becoming, with standing in the fulfillment so fully that even time must bow to your faith. Because faith does not follow time. Faith governs it. Faith collapses it. Faith walks on water when the natural says sink. And you are not walking by what's natural. You are walking by what is divine. Prepare then as if it is done. Speak as if it is done. Move as if it is done. And soon, everything around you will have no choice but to reflect the truth you have carried all along. That the final plan was never future tense. It was always now. So now, stand as one who knows. Not one who is searching, not one who is pleading, but one who remembers. Walk not in haste, but in holy certainty. What was spoken over you is already alive within you. What was promised is already formed in the unseen, waiting only for your agreement, your alignment. This is the hour, this is the summons, this is the unveiling. The plan is not waiting. You are the final plan, and it is time.